The second thing in this lesson we talked about was solving with grouping symbols. So how do you solve an equation with parentheses in it? So let's take a look right here at number 3. So like always, I'm going to draw my line down my equal to line, down my equal. And then what we see here is the difference that we see here that we haven't seen in previous problems is we have parentheses now. So you'll notice that outside the parentheses we have a 3, more specifically a -3. So that -3 is being multiplied by this whole parentheses. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute that 3 in. So let's write the 5 because the 5 isn't doing anything right now. And so then we distribute a -3 in. And don't forget to take that negative with the 3. The 3 is negative, so you take it with it when you distribute. So first, -3 times w would be -3w. And then -3 times 4 would be -12 equals w minus 7. Now, the second step, after you distribute, you always combine like terms. Now remember, you have two sides of an equation, the left and the right. If you can ever put things together on either side, you just put them together. So if you look over here on the left side, we have a 5 and a -12. And since those are both just numbers, we can just put those together. So 5 minus 12 would be -7. So we'd have -3w minus 7 equals w minus 7. So we've put those together. And now, once we've distributed and combined like terms, we can start moving things. And you'll notice that we have w's on both sides. So I'm going to subtract the one that's on the right over to the left because it was adding, or it was positive. And you have -3 minus w would be -4w minus 7 equals -7. Now, to finish this off, this is just a two-step problem. I have -4w minus 7 equals -7. So I'm going to move the minus 7 first. So I'm going to add it over. And when you say -7 plus 7, you get 0. Now, I had a lot of students on the quiz, when they saw this, they thought it was a no solution problem, which we're going to talk about in the next video. But just because you get 0 doesn't mean it's a no solution problem. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but the no solution problems, or the all real numbers problems, is when the variable goes away. The variable's still there. So what we do here is we keep working. So -4 times w, so I divide by -4. And 0 divided by -4 is just 0. So your answer is 0. A lot of students think that you have to get a number and that 0 means something weird's going on. But 0 is a legitimate answer. All right, let's look at number 8. Now, number 8, we have two distributive properties. So we're going to distribute the 4 in, then we're going to distribute the 3 in, and then we'll start moving things around. So first, 4 times 4 would give me 16. 4 times -w would be -4w. Then we say 3 times 2w, which is 6w, and then 3 times 2, which is 6. So now that we've distributed, we look for like terms, and I don't see any like terms on either side. So then we just start moving numbers. So I'm going to take the one that's on the right and move it to the left. The 6w is positive, so I'm going to subtract 6w. And then I get 16, and then -4 minus 6 would give me -10w equals 6. So again, this is just a two-step problem. I need to get the w by itself. I've got to move the 10 and the 16. The 16 is furthest away, so I'm going to move the 16 first. The 16 is positive, so I'm going to subtract it over. I get -10w equals, and then 6 minus 16 would give me a -10. And then finally, the -10 and the w are multiplying, so I'm going to move the -10 by dividing. So I get w equals, and then -10 divided by -10 would give me just simply 1. So that's how you solve with grouping symbols. Next, we're going to finish off the lesson by talking about special situations.